Like Reggie Quisenberry talking baseball, Carew and Gaylord Perry, Seaver, Garvey, Schmidt, and Vida Blue. If Cooperstown is calling, it's no fluke. They'll be with Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Say hey, say hey, say
Now, ESPN 95.9 and the main event are proud to bring you our weekly minor league baseball report, Down on the Farm, with our minor league baseball expert, Andrew Force. Down on the Farm is sponsored exclusively by State Farm agent Darren Powell in Mount Pulaski. Call Darren today at 877-792-3371 for all your insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Now, let's go down on the farm.
Welcome back to Down on the Farm. Major League Baseball's first-year player draft is held every June, generally the first Tuesday of the month, by conference call among the 30 Major League clubs. The scout responsible for a player's selection will generally contact the player by phone immediately after the selection. No team may draft a player unless it has registered the player's name with the commissioner's office. The Chicago White Sox hold the longest streak without a top 10 pick of any Major League franchise, their last one being right-handed pitcher Alex Fernandez at number 4 overall in 1990. That streak continued this year as they selected number 15. Lance Broadway, right-handed starter, is their first-round pick this year, 6'4", 190 out of TCU. It also marks the 4th straight year in which the White Sox have opened with a collegiate player, instead of dipping into the high school ranks. Let's take a look at Broadway from a scout's perspective. Slender frame, trim look, rounded shoulders. He's got aggressive fastball, somewhere around 90 to 92. Sometimes he can get up to 94 when he needs to. Broadway also has a good hard curveball and tantalizing changeup. His curveball's got a 12-6 break, and then sometimes he'll use a natural 3/4 curveball as off-speed pitch. He's got command of both pitches. He fields his position well. That's Lance Broadway, first-round pick for the Chicago White Sox. In the second round, they did not have a pick this year as they picked up El Duque, free agent from the Yankees. They had to give up their second-round pick. Their third-round pick, Richard Brooks, is a right-handed reliever from East Carolina. 31 pitchers taken by the White Sox this year out of 49 possible picks, so a little bit of a trend there. And they mentioned that not necessarily all of those pitchers are going to try to make it to the White Sox parent club. They're also great trade bait, as lots of teams want to go after pitchers, young pitchers especially, during the trade deadline. Christian Marrero was a player of note in the second day of the draft. An 18-year-old outfielder from Broward Junior College is the younger brother of Major Leaguer Eli Marrero. Today's interview subject is Dan Moylan, left-handed catcher for the Springfield Cardinals, the AA affiliate of the St. Louis Cardinals. Are there any principles you take with you to the plate when you go to bat?
I try to mainly, hit strikes and hit pitches that are in my hitting zone. Not swing at pitches that, pitchers' pitches or pitches that I don't handle very well. And, I try to do that, and usually if you do that and you stay within yourself, you'll be pretty successful.
Do you approach certain at-bats with a game plan?
I think, you might approach a relief pitcher, especially if, I hit left-handed, you might approach a left-hander coming out of the bullpen to face you, different than, a left-handed starter or a right-handed starter because, he's only going to face you once and he's going to bring, his stuff to strike you out or something, so he's coming in for that, that purpose. But starting pitcher, you're usually going to get 3 at-bats against him, so you're going to see most of his pitches where, coming out of the bullpen, the guy's going to try to, get you out that at-bat, with his best stuff.
All right, we hear of pitchers that might be tipping their pitches, and have you ever noticed this before in your own experience?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's part of the game, just as much as stealing signs from third base, and yeah, there's tons of tells, that you might be able to make up. I wouldn't say an educated guess on what a pitcher might be throwing, or whether it be something he does with his glove, or you might just something the more of course you face the guy, the better idea you have of what he might do and what his habits might be on the mound. But yeah, most all pitchers, especially in the lower levels, and they start to learn as they come up, do tip some kind of pitch, whether it be their fastball or changeup or something. They might do something different. So, it's not guessing, but sometimes you know, in certain instances, you can make an educated guess on what's coming, and you know, have, you know, just trying to get a better edge on what you're doing.
Does that get passed around the clubhouse real quick?
It's more like said in the dugout, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, he's tipping, you know, he might be tipping his changeup or something like this, or, you know, if you watch a big league game, you'll watch guys, they're all sitting there watching the pitcher when he's, you know, on the mound, you know, really intent, see if they can pick up any little thing that might give them, you know, an edge to hit the ball. But it's more something that's said in the dugout, or again, like if it's the guy you faced, you know, for like example, a starting pitcher that you faced 10 times throughout the year, that everybody knows this is what he does, you know, when he's throwing a changeup or a breaking ball or something like that.
You've spent your entire minor league career in the Cardinals farm system?
Yeah, I was drafted in 2000, and this is my fifth full year. And yeah, I've been, you know, I enjoy being with the Cardinals. Obviously, right now, you know, I'm not getting a chance to play too much, but you know, they've always been, you know, good to me, and you know, I've, you know, enjoy playing for them. It's a great organization to be in.
Is there an established theme or focus for the organization? I
don't know how we feel I can speak for myself, I guess, how I feel about it, and that, you know, when you look at the big league club, you know, your chances of getting up there sometimes, you know, in the, you know, as a position player, not really that good when you look at Roland, you know, Renteria, Molina, Eckstein, Gruzelanek, Pujols, Edmonds, Reggie Sanders. You know, there's not a whole lot of opportunities for position players. So what I think you try to do when you play is you try to play, you know, so if another team likes you and there's a trade, you know, because the Cardinals are going to always be in contention in the play, you know, towards the end of the season, and, you know, maybe get a trade or get somewhere, you know, but you definitely want to, you know, just put up good numbers and you know, make them put pressure on an organization, you know, to play you, or, you know, there's other major league teams, and I think that's like what the minor leagues are, you know, about sometimes is, you know, you're playing to try to make it to the big leagues, not necessarily with the team that drafted you, maybe, but, you know, there's, like I said, there's 29 other teams.
Do the Cardinals do anything for first-year players in terms of prepare you for living on your own, money handling, how to act in public, media exposure, and all that?
No, not when I was there. No.
Have you seen any other minor league baseball cards of yours?
Yeah, I've seen. I've seen quite a bit. There's, I guess, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 minor league baseball cards of mine that I've seen.
What's the coolest action shot you've seen on either yours or another person's baseball card?
Oh gosh, the coolest action shot. I know the one that I don't like the worst is my second year one in New Jersey. It looks like I'm fouling a ball off my foot, and it looks like it hurt. So I always say I can't believe that one. I always got mad at. I always gave Herm a hard time about not picking that one. I'm trying to think of a cool action shot. No, I would like, you know, those old school cards. Like I forget if it's like George Brett or something. You know, he's like hanging out off the railing of the dugout. You know, with a big chaw on or something like that. I always thought those were cool, but I guess you can't really do those anymore in the minor leagues.
Back to Dan Moylan in just a moment. Well, the Cardinals had a lot of picks in the early rounds this year, mostly for losing free agents, such as Mike Matheny and Edgar Renteria. And their first overall pick they got for losing Renteria to the Red Sox. They got Colby Rasmus, a center fielder. He's a high school player. Not typical of the Cardinals' nature. Usually they take college players early on. He's out of Phoenix City, Alabama, 6'1", 175 pounds. Rasmus, considered a 5-tool player, the left-hander broke Bo Jackson's Alabama state record for home runs in a season by a high school player. 24 long balls in a high school season for Rasmus. He also hit .484, pretty good, 19 stolen bases, and describes himself as a Steve Finley type, tall and lanky. Cardinal scouts say he projects out to a center fielder in the future. Number 30, St. Louis selected Tyler Green, shortstop from Georgia Tech. The Cardinals scouting corps believes they have seen Green 14 times this season alone. He anchors the Yellow Jackets defense, a team that received the second overall seed in the NCAA baseball tournament, and Green has especially improved on defense during his collegiate career. Around the country, he's now regarded as one of the top fielding shortstops. Green was a second-round draft pick out of high school, decided to go to Georgia Tech instead, and was named first-team All-American by Baseball America entering the 2005 season. Right now he's batting .373 for the Jackets with 12 homers, 15 doubles, and 30 stolen bases in 31 tries. He was caught one time. He did strike out 68 times in his 59 games thus far, but Green does have a .464 on-base percentage and a .592 slugging percentage. Some scouts say that he projects out to a middle-of-the-lineup hitter. With the Cardinals' sandwich pick between the first and second rounds, they gave up Edgar Renteria, so they get a sandwich pick, Mark McCormick, right-handed pitcher out of Baylor. McCormick throws 95 to 97. He's hit the radar at 100 before, reportedly. Extremely hard thrower, obviously, and he's walked 55 batters in 92 1/3 innings. Struck out 97 in those 92 innings. The one knock on McCormick is he will need to develop a few more pitches to be successful at the next level. Well, this will be fun. Let's take a look at some of the players the Cardinals drafted that are related to former Cardinals players and former Major League Baseball players. Wilfredo Pujols. That's right, there's another Pujols out there. Wilfredo Pujols, the first cousin of superstar Albert Pujols, was drafted in the second round of the first-year player draft on Tuesday. Like Albert, Wilfredo Pujols attended Fort Osage High School in Kansas City. He's a right fielder. He's the son of Albert's father's brother. Wilfredo Pujols stands 6'1", and he won't turn 18 until September. St. Louis drafted A.J. Van Slyke, the son of, that's right, former Cardinal Andy Van Slyke in the 23rd round, and Jesse Shandis, the second baseman from Old Dominion University, in the 40th round. Shandis' great uncle is Cardinals Hall of Fame second baseman Red Shandis. Pitcher Blake King is the great-nephew of Yankees Hall of Famer Mickey Mantle. That's a look at what the Cardinals did in the draft these last 2 days. Let's get back to Dan Moylan of the Springfield Cardinals. Or what is it that you do best on a baseball field?
What do I do best? I think, I in terms of catching, I think I handle pitchers very well, call a good game, work with the pitching staff, well. Offensively, I'm not a power hitter. My game's being on base, having good at-bats, being a contributor, factor, for the big boppers in the lineup, to be on and get a big clutch hit or something like that. But, being a catcher, your most important job is always and always should be, handling the pitching staff because, without good pitching, you ain't going to win games. That's the bottom line.
See that you had a pinch homer in the spring training game this year with the Cardinals?
Yeah. I forget who it was off a Braves reliever, but, I was just down catching bullpens that day, and, Jim Leland actually was managing the game because it was a split squad game.
Okay.
And called me down and said, I'm going to pinch hit for the pitcher in, the second or third inning, and got a split finger that hung up in the zone, and was lucky enough to get it up in the air, and it went over the fence. So, it was pretty neat. My stepmother's family's from Jupiter, and they happened to be at the game, so they were there, and I didn't even know they were there, and they got a pictures of it and stuff. So my parents were pretty psyched to have pictures and stuff like that. Nice. But it's a pretty cool thing to do. When you just get to pinch hit and you hit a home run, it's pretty neat. I don't think it was my third time being in big league spring training, and
you attended the University of North Carolina?
Yeah, I went 3 years there. 3 years from 98, 99, 2000.
Did you cheer on your Tar Heels in the Final Four?
Yeah, believe it or not, that's. I mean, I played baseball there, but that's basketball country. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. There, when you play baseball there, you're kind of the redheaded stepchild to the to the basketball team. If you know what I mean. When basketball season's over, the next question is, when's it begin, All
right, and finally, how do you feel about your development as a player since you started and your professional career began?
Well, at this point right now, I'm a little disappointed, with where I am and not getting a chance to play that much. But, I feel like I'm, 100-time better player than I was when I started, and in terms of understanding this game and the professional game, and I think when you come in, you don't, you think you're, big man on campus, but you kind of learn there's a lot of good players, and you just keep plugging along and playing every day, and try to put good things together.
Great, thanks so much.
All right.
That was AA ball player Dan Moylan of the Springfield Cardinals, affiliated with the St. Louis Cardinals organization. Let's look at the Chicago Cubs draft picks and a little bit about them, some background information. Mark Powlick, as you probably know by now, was drafted by the Cubs in the first round. 20th overall, left-handed pitcher out of Springville High School in Utah. Powlick, a little bit about him. His position is left-handed pitcher. As I mentioned, he's 6'2", 180. His fastball can reach the mid-90s and displays a good curveball and decent changeup. Powlick's overall record was 10-0 this year, did not allow a run or an earned run over 63 innings, while striking out 132. He ended his prep career with, get this, 476 strikeouts, probably a little bit better than his competition, it seems, which is, of course, the Utah State all-time record. Powlick's fastball has been clocked between 90 and 96 miles per hour. Powlick is the second high school player ever drafted out of Utah. Left-hander Bruce Hurst was also the first-round pick by the Boston Red Sox with the 22nd pick in 1976. Powlick's older brother Dennis was drafted by the White Sox in 2002 out of Snow Junior College in Utah. Dennis never played professional baseball. The Cubs announced Powlick's signing while making their selection in the third round of this draft. Powlick is represented by agent Scott Boras, so that's a pretty good feat for the Cubs to sign him already. The Chicago Cubs selected in the second round another pitcher, a left-handed pitcher as well, Donald Veal, out of Pima Community College. Pima, by the way, is in Arizona. Donald Veal was 8-5 with a 3.65 ERA. He struck out 119 over 74 innings. He threw 3 shutouts and held opponents to a .207 batting average. Come back next week to hear what your team's growing down on the farm.
Leather seat or dual climate control. But for 40 million American motorists, Covered is known they have a State Farm agent who's always there, providing personal service at a competitive rate. So talk to State Farm agent Darren Powell in Mount Pulaski. He'll help you make sure you get the coverage you need and the discounts you deserve. After all, any insurance company can promise you a good price, but nobody takes care of you like a State Farm agent. Call Darren at 877-792-3371 and he'll prove it.
Some people think the youth of today are a lost cause. They believe that kids lack a spiritual purpose, have misplaced priorities, and are too afraid to stand out and make a difference. But young people all over America are challenging this perspective with the help of World Vision. They're proving the cynics wrong by having the confidence to stand up and make a difference. They've got a purpose, a reason to care, and they're saving lives. American students are taking a stand through World Vision's 30-hour famine. They're showing they care by going without food for 30 hours and asking for donations so hungry children around the world can live. They're saving the lives of others and in the process, changing their own lives in a profound way. Support our young people in this effort. Show you care. It's about saving kids' lives. World Vision's 30-hour famine. Find out how you can help. Call 800-7-FAMINE. That's 800-732-6463. Or go to 30hourfamine.org.
If it's a fresh look that you need for spring, the Brass Horn, located at 108 East Prairie in downtown Decatur, has a great selection of new spring men's clothing and accessories, all just in time to give your tired old wardrobe a fresh new look for spring. Let George and Ryan at the Brass Horn help you with all the latest styles and colors, making sure you have the look and style that best suits you. It's big city selection at small town prices. Stop in today at the Brass Horn, 108 East Prairie in downtown Decatur.
At the end of every Baum Chevrolet Buick commercial, you'll always hear the same 5 words, where service is a tradition. Those words have special meaning for the entire Baum team. Each member is dedicated to furthering a tradition which began in 1928 and lives on today at Baum Chevrolet Buick. Sure, times have changed. You can now browse the lot from the comfort of your home at BaumChevyBuick.com. But what hasn't changed is Baum's dedication to you, the customer. Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City, where service is a tradition.
If you're in the mood for barbecue, and I mean serious barbecue, there's only one place to go and satisfy those cravings, and that's Vinny's Barbecue. Started off with Vinny's world-famous stuffed baked potato. It's a perfect baked potato stuffed with your choice of shredded pork or beef barbecue, melted cheese, and onion. Vinny's has plenty of barbecue favorites, including Vinny's barbecue ribs. The meat, it's so tender you'll have to suck the sauce right off the bone. Add Vinny's barbecue baked beans to your order, and you might have to tell your mama to take the night off. You've got to try the brand new Little Vinny Burger. These little burgers are so good that they'll make you forget about that Castle place that sells sliders. So if you're in the mood for serious barbecue, make it Vinny's Barbecue. There's 2 great Decatur locations for you to choose from, located at the corner of Southside Drive and Taylorville Road across from Farm and Fleet, and their new location in the Phillips
ball game.
I'm talking baseball, like Reggie Quisenberry talking baseball. Carew and Gaylord Perry, Seaver, Garvey, Schmidt, and Vida Blue. If Cooperstown is calling, it's no fluke. They'll be with Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Say hey, say hey, say
Now,
hey.
ESPN 95.9 and the main event are proud to bring you our weekly minor league baseball report, Down on the Farm, with our minor league baseball expert, Andrew Force. Down on the Farm is sponsored exclusively by State Farm agent Darren Powell in Mount Pulaski. Call Darren today at 877-792-3371 for all your insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Now, let's go down on the farm.
Nat numbers looks the board, 56-3 in average, swipe 13 walks in here for the Cubs make the move. Rich Hill will be a bullpen used in long and be using relief. Left on Carrot option to Iowa on the 20-man roster. In a 4th-round pick on the farm, Scott has 5th home run today. Up at the second, he is in the Midwest with 20. Both of his best win week's guests in San Antonio, Collette, and Osterman, Aaron Watson. Next week, while you're growing down on the farm. Nat an average 3 swipe, 3 walks in there for the.
The 1999 party continues with Dish Network and P&M Communications in Lincoln and Decatur. When you subscribe to Dish Network service, you can now receive the AT60 programming package for just $19.99 for the first 3 months. But it gets even better. You will also receive HBO and Showtime, 18 movie channels free for 3 months with this offer. It's madness. Dish madness. And there's no equipment to buy. Plus free standard professional installation. Pay a $49.99 activation fee and receive a $49.99 credit on your first programming bill. You just can't beat this offer. $19.99 for the Dish AT60 package and HBO and Showtime for 3 months. And remember, you can upgrade to a DVR system for free. So join in the madness with Dish Network and P&M Communications at 616 North Chicago Street in Lincoln and in Decatur at 2235 Westbound Road. Offer ends July 31st, 2005. All prices, packages, and programming subject to change without notice. Restrictions, credit approval, minimum programming purchase, and monthly receiver fees apply. Monthly $4.98 Dish Network DVR service fee applies for a DVR. Early cancellation fee applies.
What separates Baum Chevy Buick from other dealerships? At Baum, the sale comes second. You come first. Since 1928, we have provided exceptional customer service and extensive selection of vehicles for our customers. That tradition continues today. June is truck month at Baum Chevy Buick. We have more than 80 Chevy Silverados, some priced under $15,000, and employee discount pricing for everyone. Chevy, an American Revolution. Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City, where service is a tradition.
Nat numbers looks the board, 56-3 in average, swipe 13 walks in here for the down while you're on the farm. Average Nat 3 swipe. Cubs make will be a second Aaron Watt.
Where can you go in our community to post local events on a free, interactive community calendar? Buy and sell things online within the community and keep local businesses from being lost in the sea of .coms. Buy DecaturFirst.com, the only place to go to support and communicate within our community. Only local businesses are listed in our site, so every time you buy something from BuyDecaturFirst.com, you are supporting Decatur and its economic well-being. Buy DecaturFirst.com. Go there today.
It's coming this Saturday, June 18th. If you've ever thought about owning a John Deere compact utility tractor, a John Deere Z-Track commercial mower, or wanted a 2- or 4-wheel drive Gator, Cross Brothers Implement invites you to come out and ride and drive the latest home and commercial lawn equipment from John Deere. There'll be dealer representatives on hand to give you information on equipment, financing programs, and parts and service support. Don't miss the excitement. There's big savings and unheard of financing programs on quality John Deere home and commercial lawn equipment. In fact, you better get there early to register for door prizes. It's Saturday, June 18th from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the Sunset Inn and Suites just off Route 51 in Clinton. You've thought about it. Don't let your neighbor one-up you again this year. Cross Brothers Implement is inviting you to a John Deere ride and drive this Saturday, June 18th from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the Sunset Inn and Suites in Clinton. Make your plans to attend today because nothing runs like a deer.
It's 10 p.m. and you need to transfer some funds to your checking account. Is your bank open? If your computer is on, the John Warner Bank is open. With online banking from the John Warner Bank, you can view account balances and transactions, transfer funds from one account to another, make loan payments, view check images, and find helpful information about services offered at the John Warner Bank. Just visit johnwarnerbank.com and start enjoying the ease and convenience of online banking with the John Warner Bank. Member FDIC.
Family room too small to have your friends over to watch the race? Want the perfect place to be on race day? Get to the Sports Zone, located in the Decatur Holiday Inn Select, and watch every NASCAR race on the big screens. With the 20 TVs and state-of-the-art surround sound system, you'll be up close to all the racing action. You can enjoy great food, drinks, and not only hang out with your friends, but you can also hang out with the Miller Lite Girls during every Nextel Cup race in June. Be sure to enter the weekly prize drawings and be the one who picks the weekly perfecta and win even more great prizes. Prizes include overnight packages to the Decatur Holiday Inn Select, Cardinal baseball tickets, and even a grand prize of 2 tickets to the 2006 Daytona 500. Make sure you go out to the Sports Zone and cheer on your favorite driver each week. Sponsored by Absolute Concrete, by DecaturFirst.com, C&J Excavating, Hardwell Companies, Decatur Earth Mover Credit Union, Dynagraphics Fast Impressions, and Speed Lube.
What separates Baum Chevy Buick from other dealerships? At Baum, the sale comes second. You come first. Since 1928, we have provided exceptional customer service and extensive selection of vehicles for our customers. That tradition continues today. June is Truck Month at Baum Chevy Buick. We have more than 80 Chevy Silverados, some priced under $15,000, and employee discount pricing for everyone. Chevy, an American Revolution. Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City, where service is a tradition.
Now, let's get back to the main event. Cub fans, Cardinal fans, and even White Sox fans are all welcome. The phone lines are open to call the main event right now at 217-935-8100.
5:36 here in the main event. First of all and foremost, we'd like to apologize for Down on the Farm. Obviously, that was one media file over the top of another media file.
We'll try to fix that and maybe bring you that report tomorrow on the big show.
Yeah, because I know he worked hard on it, and obviously the end result was not the fruit of his good work.
Right. So we will indulge your patience, and hopefully we'll have that for you tomorrow on the big show.
And now, we feel lost.
Well, yeah, because
we had 20 minutes. You know, we thought we were like great. You know, we already ordered the drink and we started the cooker and everything, and.
Yeah.
Now we're all messed up. So
can you imagine that?
Yeah. So everybody out there listening, you're just on your own for the next 20 minutes. You guys are going to improvise.
935-8100. That is the phone number if you want to get it started here on the program. We've been talking about the LPGA versus the PGA debate, and we've got that can of worms going. Let's head right back to the phone lines and kick it off again.
Main event, you're up.
Some good Illini recruiting news today. Brian Carwell and Willie Kemp were in a Champaign yesterday.
Deep on a new Serta mattress set. Gaines Furniture, downtown Farmer City, not only has...
Mel Allen, it's a bright sunny afternoon, and what a beautiful day for a ball game.
I'm talking baseball, like Reggie Quisenberry, talking baseball. Carew and Gaylord Perry, Seaver, Garvey, Schmidt, and Vida Blue. If Cooperstown is calling, it's no fluke. They'll be with Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Say hey, say hey, say
now, ESPN 95.9 and the main event are proud to bring you our weekly minor league baseball report, Down on the Farm, with our minor league baseball expert, Andrew Force. Down on the Farm is sponsored exclusively by State Farm agent Darren Powell and Mount Pulaski. Call Darren today at 877-792-3371 for all your insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Now, let's go down on the farm.
Back to Down on the Farm, the St. Louis Cardinals had a lot of action in their minor league system this week. They agreed to terms with outfielder Colby Rasmus Rasmus was selected 28th overall in the first round last week. They also agreed to terms with right-handed pitcher Tyler Herron, the second-round pick. Career minor leaguer John Gall is showing exceptional plate patience with 20 walks and just 20 strikeouts on the year. St. Louis Cardinals activated right-handed pitcher Cal Eldrick from the disabled list and designated left-handed pitcher Gabe White for assignment. Look for him to be joining one of their minor league teams rather soon. In Double-A Springfield, Tyler Mingus has 130 total bases, 19 doubles, 3 triples, and 11 yard balls comprised. In High A Palm Beach, Matthew Dreyer has some flaws, 75 whiffs, some certain inefficiencies, 220 average. But in the ways he can help, he helps in abundance. Team leading 27 runs scored, 12 home runs, and a team best 41 RBI. Results of the Rick Ankiel experiment are mixed. 233 in low A isn't something you write home about, but 5 home runs and 60 at-bats, that's a better home run percentage than Barry Bonds' career rate. This week's first guest of the Winston-Salem Warthogs, Tom Calero. All right, I'm talking with Tom Calero on Down on the Farm. Welcome, Tom.
How you doing?
Pretty good. And what would you say your skills are? Where do you need to improve?
Big thing with me has been pitch selection lately in the last couple of years. So just, not chasing balls and strikes pretty much.
What is the atmosphere like at your home games?
Atmosphere is pretty good. Not too many people. Don't draw a real big crowd, but atmosphere is good.
Do you get any organizational energy out there now that the White Sox are doing really well? Does that filter down to you guys, or do you hear much about that?
Pretty much just it gets filtered around a little bit with the crowd and whatnot. You may get a couple of new fans just to see what they got in the farm system.
Right.
Hasn't really helped us too much, but just a little bit. Mostly everybody wants to go to the big league games,
Mm-hmm. You play in High A. Where did you play last year?
Last year I was in Vance Rookie in Great Falls.
Okay, and is there a difference, you'd say, between the lifestyle there, not necessarily playing baseball, but just the living aspect?
Yeah, definitely. Last year Montana was the country and whatnot, and out here down south it's a little better being on the East Coast because I'm from Florida. I like to sweat a little bit. It was a little dry out there in Montana.
Yeah.
So, liking the weather a lot better down here.
And did you play any other sports growing up?
Played soccer till about, say, 14 or 15. Then I found out there was too much running, so I kind of shut that down.
And do you have any idols that are still playing today, or anyone you like to watch?
Yes, I love like Vladimir Guerrero and Adam Dunn.
I don't think many fans know about the living situations from minor league players. And could you talk a little bit about the host families and how that works?
Yeah, the host family worked out great for me and my roommate last year because you come into a new town, I didn't have a car out there being from Florida and whatnot all the way across the nation, so it worked out great. They gave us a car to use, a place to stay. Me and my buddy stayed in, we had 2 bedrooms in the basement, a fridge down there. Everything was good, and they just get to watch baseball. Basically, they just get tickets and get to be around the atmosphere of baseball with the players being in the house. Cook, always coming home to a meal and whatnot is great, and just basically just having a family while you're on the road.
All right, if I'm looking to buy a baseball game for my Xbox, do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, MVP is a great game. Play that a lot.
And what were some highlights of your career to date?
Highlights last year in Great Falls, I had 5 for 5 night with 2 home runs and 7 RBIs.
Wow. Could you describe for me the ideal fan as you see him or her?
Ideal fans, just person likes, out here in the South, love baseball, come to watch, good baseball, usually in the minors, players a little more interactive with the fans, will talk to you and stuff, and, treat you well. You're going to see some hard baseball for cheap,
Yeah, definitely. Have you developed pretty well early on?
Yes, I like the way things are coming along right now. Had a little run-in. I got diabetes about 1.5 years ago in the middle of the season while I was in Bristol and rookie, so that set me back a little bit, but now things are coming on the way. Working with a good hitting guy out here, Andy Timberland, and just polishing little pieces up.
Does everyone at that level try to move up, not just necessarily the players, perhaps the trainers, the coaches, management, is everyone trying to move up in the league, or is some people stable there?
Everybody's different. Like some managers, for say, would like to teach younger guys, teach more in the lower levels, because when you get to AA, AAA, I guess, not a little bit of teaching, but more of veterans been in AAA and they know the game and whatnot. So with the manager-wise. Maybe they would like to move up or they would like to stay here and help. It goes both ways. For the trainers, I would assume they like to move up unless they're usually the guy we got now, the trainer's from his Winston-Salem, the hometown, so obviously he's got a pretty good gig.
Would you have a best pitcher you faced so far, or they kind of run together in your mind?
Not really. In spring training, I faced some big league guys, which was, a little different. Mark Burley and Freddie Garcia,
Nice.
pretty good stuff considered, up there. So saw a little bit of that in spring training, and that was a good change for me.
If it was in your hands, where would you put yourself in the batting order?
I'm a 4-5 guy because I think I'm pretty decent, got good power, and I like to clean up the RBIs. So 4-5 would be an RBI situation.
Was there a time when you realized baseball might become a career for you growing up?
Yeah, played all year round in Florida. Had the weather, to be able to play year round all down there. So about 10th grade in high school started growing about 3 inches over the summer. Got a little tall, and a couple scouts started looking at me. So then I realized I had the chance, to probably go pro out of high school.
Where did you play junior college?
I played junior college at Palm Beach Community College.
And do you think it's a tremendous advantage? You just mentioned that you got to play year-round. Well, up in the North, Midwest, and Northeast, you don't necessarily play baseball year-round. It's kind of a spring-summer sport. Do you think that helped you out in your development?
Yeah, it definitely helped me out playing every day. Down there, a little rain, but you're gonna get a chance to play every day because we don't really have too much of a winter down there in Florida. Like those guys got to take batting practice and work in cages inside while it's snowing and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
We're able to be outside running and playing games while they're doing that. So tremendous advantage, I think.
Great. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, no problem.
That was the first of two Winston-Salem Warthogs on today's show, Tom Calero. Following this short look at the White Sox minor league system will be Aaron Wasserman, his teammate on the Warthogs. Just a little over a week removed from the June first-year player draft, the White Sox first-round pick is signed. Lance Broadway, 15th overall pick, received a $1.57 million signing bonus. The poor-hitting Charlotte Knights AAA team are led offensively by a couple of players who have dabbled in the major leagues. Ross Gloda and Roosevelt Brown are the only Charlotte hitters on the good side of 300. Though neither Glode nor Brown has enough ABs to register amongst the league leaders, the duo does have the serendipitous ex-Cub moniker on their side. For the Birmingham Barons, 6'7" lefty Jim Bullard returned from the disabled list. Before the season, he was thought to be the ace of this staff. The new addition to the DL is Venezuelan hurler Eduardo Villasís. Offensive leader for the week, Christopher Young, has 25 doubles on the year, 116 total bases. High A, Winston-Salem first baseman Leo Daigle, roommate of today's second guest, Aaron Wasserman, hit for a cycle Tuesday. He has homered in six consecutive games. Mind-boggling. Low A, Kannapolis. White Sox 24th round pick from 2004, Joshua Hansen, has 47 RBI for the Kannapolis Intimidators. Talking with Aaron Wasserman here of the Winston-Salem Warthogs, a Chicago White Sox affiliate, High A affiliate, I believe. Aaron, how's your season going so far?
It's going pretty good. Our team's 2 games out of first with 6 games to go, so we're trying to make a push here for first place.
What goes on when you don't get drafted and you still think you have the potential to make it in the minor league system?
It's pretty frustrating. We had a scout day, and I threw pretty well on scout day. Actually, this was before the season, and it was the hardest I'd ever thrown. And my coach was, he's like, yeah, they're interested. You just need to put up. You just need to have a good year. Well, my senior year was the worst year ever for my baseball career.
Wow.
So, and I still had some guys come out and watch, and I didn't think I was going to get drafted at all because nobody had talked to me, whatsoever. So, it was, I once had a coach say, the hardest thing for a lot of baseball players is when you're finished with your senior year and the phone doesn't ring, what do you do next?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it was kind of like that, and my coach told me that, maybe I should try some tryouts, to see, you never know what can happen. So it was tough, but, it was always a dream of mine to get drafted one day. It didn't happen, but, it's okay. Everything turned out all right.
You throw submarine?
I do throw. So it's sidearm, submarine, something along those lines.
When did you start throwing with that style?
I started mixing it into pitching my junior and senior year of college, and then I didn't start doing it full time until I got picked up by the White Sox.
How does that happen? How do you make that transition? What goes on in your mind when you think, hey, maybe this will work?
Well, I had some moderate success over the top, and I really didn't like my curveball.
Okay.
So I was playing in a summer league, and I was like, all right, I'll just mess around with a sidearm slider, and I started throwing it, and the hitters had a tough time with it, and I really liked it, so I was like, all right. So that's how it started. It started real small, and then it got to the point where, okay, I can't just drop down and throw a slider.
Yeah.
I need to drop down and throw a fastball.
Yeah.
So then I started integrating that into it, and then before you know, I looked up, and I was only losing like maybe a mile or two an hour, and sometimes not any. And so my manager at Samford University, the school I went to, Coach Tim Parrington, he told me the scouts liked me better sidearm. So when I went to tryout camps, I just threw sidearm.
You went to the White Sox tryout camp, and how many pitches did they give you? Did they give you a long time to work out?
No, it's very short. That was about the third one I went to, and it's about the same. They're very interesting. You get there, and the scout that was there for the White Sox was Warren Hughes, and he talks to the pitchers, and he's like, all right, you're going to get about 8 pitches.
Wow.
Yeah, he's like, you're going to get, we'll give you like 4 to 6 fastballs, and then we'll let you spin some breaking balls, and if you have a third pitch, we'll let you show it. But they're trying to get through 150 pitchers.
Right.
So it's got to be really quick, So and the magic number at a tryout is 90. Every tryout I went to, they're like, if you don't hit 90, we can't send your name into the organization.
Mm-hmm.
So my philosophy was just, all right, I'm going to throw it as hard as I can. I got 8 pitches to try and hit 90. And I think he said that day I was sitting at like 90, 91. And with a decent slider, and he said he liked the movement on my ball, and so that's how that happened. But yeah, you don't get many pitches at all. It's pretty stressful.
I bet.
Plus you got everybody watching you. You got a guy on each mound, and it was at the Barron Stadium, so that was kind of ironic.
So right now you're the closer for the Warthogs?
Yes, sir. I'm the closer for the Warthogs.
Okay, so as a closer, you go out there pretty much every night or have to be prepared every night. How do you get your body refreshed for the next game? I bounce back. My arm bounce back pretty quick. I make sure I stretch pretty good. We stretch about 3 times a day. Wow.
So, and we work out pretty good, and we run pretty much every day, so that keeps my arm and rebuilding and stuff like that. So, some pitchers it takes, they can throw one day and then they need a day off. Me, for some reason, I'm able to bounce back a lot quicker. One of the hardest parts is getting back up there mentally, especially if you have a rough outing.
Right.
As the closer, say you blow a save, a save opportunity comes the next day. You got to be ready to get back out there and go again. You have to have a short-term memory.
Yeah. All right, this is kind of a general question, not speaking of your numbers per se, but do you think that scouts, when looking through the minor league system, notice skills, even if your stats aren't necessarily doing that well that season? Do they notice if you improve or not? I
think so. I think it's a big baseball is a big game of improvement. Like you can start off the season, I think, really rough. Like if you just have a rough start and then you finish strong, I think they notice, that okay, he adjusted well, so he experienced some success, and they can I think continue to compare it to what you do every season. So like if you improve every season or if you get worse every season. So yeah, I think they look at it a pretty good bit.
All right, thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you very much.
That was Aaron Wasserman of the Winston-Salem Warthogs, the White Sox High A affiliate. For the Northsiders, Kerry Wood began his rehab assignment with Iowa. In 3 innings pitched, Kerry gave up 1 run. He struck out 3 and walked 2 over the course of 46 pitches. Never one to overlook his spot in the lineup, Wood tripled and scored in his only at-bat. On that aforementioned Iowa Cubs team, 22-year-old Ronnie Cedeno was tearing up the PCL, hitting .359. Oh, and how would you like his .528 slugging percentage out of your middle infielder? In West Tennessee, Matt Merton's numbers look good across the board. .356 batting average, 13 swipes, more walks than strikeouts. A great year for the Diamond Jack. The Cubs made a roster move this week. Rich Hill, 24-year-old, will be assigned to the bullpen for now and be used in long relief. Lefty John Carranca was optioned to AAA Iowa to make room on the 25-man roster. In High A, Daytona, former first-round pick and Down on the Farm guest Scott Moore has 15 home runs to date. Louis Montañez has been slow to develop, but this week's Peoria Chiefs' focus is on him. He is second in the Midwest League with 21 doubles on the campaign. Thanks to both of this week's guests, Winston-Salem Warthog teammates Tom Calero and Aaron Wasserman. Come back next week to hear why your team's growing down on the farm.
Every pitch, every hit, every play. Get in the game. Only on ESPN Radio 95.9. WHOW FM, Clinton.
Some drivers think comfort is found in leather seats or dual climate control. But for 40 million American motorists, comfort is known they have a State Farm agent who's always there.
Why count sheep when you can get a great night's sleep on a new Serta mattress set? K&S Furniture, downtown Farmer City. June is another great month at Clinton Auto Auction. The first and third Saturdays of this month, there's more big auctions at Clinton Auto Auction. They'll have their usual selection of cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Over 100 models starting at 10 a.m. Gates open at 7:30 for preview. For more information, visit their website at ClintonAutoAuction.com. Clinton Auto Auction is located on the south edge of Clinton. If you're coming from Macon County, go all the way to the first stoplight and then follow the signs to Clinton Auto Auction.
Snapper's Bar and Grill is a place for nightlife, live bands, and entertainment in Central Illinois. Snapper's Bar and Grill is pleased to announce that they will be having a live DJ every Friday night, great drink specials every weekend, and always free darts for you and your friends to enjoy. So whether you are looking for a place to dance all night or just relax with friends, you can see why Snapper's Bar and Grill is the place for nightlife in Central Illinois. Snappers, located on the square in beautiful downtown Clinton.
Where can you go in our community to post local events on a free, interactive community calendar? Buy and sell things online within the community and keep local businesses from being lost in the sea of .coms. Buy DecaturFirst.com, the only place to go to support and communicate within our community. Only local businesses are listed in our site, so every time you buy something from BuyDecaturFirst.com, you are supporting Decatur and its economic well-being. Buy DecaturFirst.com. Go there today.
.53 at ESPN Radio 95.9 FM. The main event was Scott and Sam on your Friday. Lots of stuff going on out there in the old sports world over the weekend. We've got softball coming back to Decatur, and that's tonight. We've got the Futures Golf Tournament going on, and we've also got your phone calls. Let's go right back to the phone lines. The main event, you're on the air.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
It's Dalton the Bat Boy.
Hey, what's up, Bat
buddy?
Hey.
What you doing?
We're heading to the game and we're in St. Louis.
You're in St. Louis, huh?
Yeah.
Are you down there chasing women?
Not yet.
Not yet.
That a boy.
You guys gonna win tonight?
I hope so.
All right. Well, have you decided where you're going to go have dinner tonight?
We'll call you tomorrow.
Oh, you're going to call tomorrow?
Yeah.
Well, we won't be here tomorrow, so how about if you call me Monday?
Okay.
Call me Monday and let us know what's going on, okay?
Okay.
All right, you have fun, buddy, okay?
Okay, bye.
Bye. That's Dalton. That's kind of nice.
What a treat he was to have in here yesterday, too.
Yeah, they made it down.
Very nice. Well, at least he made it.
Yeah.
Could you imagine a 2.5 car ride with Dalton?
Oh, God.
Would that be a treat?
That would be fun.
You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
The little kid from Jerry Maguire.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, because you could imagine just the things that he would say, like, what was the comment about the rabbit?
Oh, yeah. Well, dude, he got fired up just telling you that he yelled at him to make sure his team did good.
Yep.
He likes to win, so he's a good kid. We'll see how the Cyclones do in action down in St. Louis, and I'm sure they'll be calling in maybe yet this afternoon and over the weekend. But
yes, we expect a full report.
Yeah, somebody will call us Monday. I'm sure Lovable will probably update us when he gets back Monday.
Yes, he will.
By the way, Lovable's going on vacation. Did you hear about the grand experiment?
What was that?
Lovable's going on vacation, and he's saying...
Larry's get some time. He gets some time off?
Yeah, he is, actually.
Wow.
I get to go fill in on the morning show. God help them all.
Wow, that's going to be a nice treat.
Yeah, it's...
I'll make sure I call in.
I thought you would. Can you imagine what I'll be like by the time I get to you in the afternoon?
Yeah, that was my thought that just came across.
Uh-huh. Yep, Thursday and Friday, and then the following Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So looking forward to that.
That'll be nice. I'll call in about it's what, 6 to 9, right?
Actually, I'm going 6 to 10. I'm rebelling. It's a Bob and Lori free week. I figure Larry's gone. I just changed the rules.
Very nice.
Yeah.
You just take the repercussions when you get back.
That's right. I mean, what's the worst that Larry can do? He'll come back and yell at me.
You're used to that.
I'm used to that, so it doesn't matter.
Well, that's good. I'll call in about 9:45 and say, yeah, I'm just getting up.
Yeah.
How's your morning?
Yeah, I appreciate that, really. You know, Marie was happy. She says, well, she goes, I guess I get to see you in the morning. I'm like, God,
you know, it don't
nice.
take a whole lot to get Marie excited, though.
No.
You know, she's pretty laid back, pretty easygoing.
Well, you saw what happened at lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, the steak was pretty good. Baked potato was all right, but boy, when you broke out the chocolate bundt cake, she was a changed woman.
Yes, she was. Something about, women in that chocolate.
935-8100 is the phone number. Cubs baseball coming up this afternoon, or this evening, I guess.
Cubs-Yankees.
Yeah, that'll be 5:35 pregame, I believe, right here on ESPN Radio 95.9 FM.
Carl Bovano going to the hill tonight for the Yankees.
Yes.
Carlos Zambrano doesn't miss a start over the turf toe, and toes are rubber tonight.
That one ought to be a slobber knocker.
It's a pretty good matchup on paper.
Run average. Not surprisingly, Eric Patterson was chosen to the team, as well as former first-rounders Louis Montañez and Ryan Harvey. The Cubs have a home run king among them. A first-round pick from the 2003 draft, Ryan Harvey blasted 8 shots to win the Midwest League Home Run Derby this week. Given 10 outs, his 8 long balls advanced him to the final round, where he defeated Emerson Frostad. His prizes, trophy, admiration, and $100. Harvey was no stranger to this format, as he was a finalist in the Northwest League's 2004 Home Run Derby while playing with the Cubs' Rookie League affiliate in Boise, Idaho. This week's guest, Kannapolis Intimidator, Joshua Hansen. Where's the best place you've visited playing baseball?
Oh, man. Well, Greensboro so far has been a great place that we've gone to play as far as fields, but throughout college and stuff, I've gone pretty far, winning conference championships. But as far as professionally, being my first season and stuff, just getting used to the traveling and the whole 140 games. So
yeah. On the roster, you're listed as an outfielder/infielder/DH. Do you think it's good or bad to have so much versatility?
Well, you get, like you said, there's good and bad. The good is, you have a lot of, chances to play other positions, but at the same time, when you have guys who can only play one position, you get caught maybe DHing more often than not, because we can only have a guy who can only play first versus a guy, in the outfield who can only play the outfield. And when you got guys who are hitting pretty well in those spots, you tend to be the guy left out and DHing. But as soon as something's going wrong, or they need to fill a spot and they want to put you, at first for a game or two, or back in the outfield or behind the plate, then you get to fill those roles. But a lot of the coaches seem to give me a lot of good feedback as far as that it's a positive thing, because it makes it easier for me to move up, hopefully, in the organization, being able to play more than just one position. But that's the positive side. But then the bad side to it is that you don't get comfortable with just playing one single position. You kind of always have to be practicing and showing up for early work for 3 different positions as easy as showing up for one.
Or you guys had a rain out on Sunday and All-Star break on Monday, 2 days off in a row. Did you even know what to do with yourself?
No, I didn't. After the rain out, we came back. Just got to hang out a little bit and catch my breath, and then having the next day off was just kind of very different.
I bet.
You walk around the malls, or you go places, but you kind of feel like you're wasting time that you should be somewhere.
Yeah. You attended Mater Dei High School in Santa Ana. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the same one that was ranked 6th in Sports Illustrated this year, the top 25 high school athletic programs?
Yes, it probably is.
Okay, so they have had 2 Heisman Trophy winners there. Matt Leinart, one of them. Did you play for the 2-time National Coach of the Year, Rollison, and his football team?
Actually played with Leinart, but not in football. He played baseball while he was at Mater Dei with me.
Okay.
But I did not play football.
And what would you say your weaknesses are right now?
Oh, that's a good question. Right now, I think coming into the draft that we just had, and coming up to the All-Star break, and starting the rookie teams in Bristol and Great Falls, I think losing players and gaining players is going to be maybe a little bit of a weakness. We've lost Gio for a start. I heard he might be coming back, and he's hurt. We might be losing a few players that might be going down. We might be gaining some guys that we don't know who they are, and try to get them into the mix of our team and what we're trying to do. But as far as on the field, I don't think we have any weaknesses. As of this moment, I think it would be more or less the fact that our team's going to be kind of fluctuating with players.
That was Joshua Hansen, infielder, outfielder, designated hitter, all of the above for the Kannapolis Intimidators. We'll get back to the interview in a moment, but let's first take a look at the White Sox and their transactions down in the minor league system. The big move this week with the White Sox, El Duque is back on the DL for the second time this season. The right-handed starter was placed on the 15-day disabled list, retroactive to June 15th, with his strained trapezius muscle. As was the case last time he got hurt, rookie phenom Brandon McCarthy has been called up to cover Hernandez's spot in the rotation. In 2 starts earlier in the year, McCarthy held the Chicago Cubs in check over 6 innings, and he also suffered a beating en route to his 0-1 big league record. With his 2 call-ups to the bigs, Brandon has effectively missed 3 would-be starts for the Charlotte Knights, and in spite of this, he is still within 5 of the league leaders in punch-outs. The record was not knock your socks off good at 3-7, but the Aces' 4-to-1 strikeout-to-walk ratio sure was. 3 new uniforms were laid out in the Charlotte locker room this week. 25-year-old reliever Jeffrey Little made a sizable 2-level jump all the way up from Winston-Salem. Replacing McCarthy in the rotation will undoubtedly be Nick Lubicic. Posting an impressive 7-4 mark earned him the promotion. Rounding out the eager-to-impress trio will be the speedy Guillermo Reyes. AA Birmingham, no dominant statistical leaders dot the Barons squad, but closer Bobby Jenks is tied for the league lead with 16 saves. Though Pedro Lopez's palindromic 202 batting average would be good enough for Mendoza, it got him demoted from AAA. With more momentum than Lopez, starter Charles Hager moves up into the AA clubhouse as well. High A, Winston-Salem leaders, while the rookie-level teams stocked themselves with recent draftees and undrafted free agents. A-level baseball leagues had their short but dramatic All-Star games this week. No team in the Carolina League managed to land more players on the All-Star team than did the White Sox High A affiliate Winston-Salem Warthogs. Recipients of the honor this year were second baseman Rudy Yan, highly touted outfielder Jeremy Reed, and 3 pitchers. Ryan Wing, Ryan Moe, and Chris Honnell all played in the midseason classic. The featured star for the Warthogs this week is last week's guest, Aaron Wasserman, the second closer in the White Sox system to lead his league in saves thus far. Wasserman has 15. Low A Kannapolis Intimidators. 3 shined brightest for the Intimidators in the first half. Named to the All-Star team were Gio Gonzalez, David Cook, and Southpaw starter Raymond Leota. Gio has since been called up to AA. Lots of names, but the most important thing to remember, McCarthy back up with the parent club this week. It's now time to get back to Joshua Hansen and the remainder of this week's interview on Down on the Farm. How many pitches would you guess on average you see per at bat?
Whew. I would say 3.
So the first pitch isn't necessarily that tempting to you?
To me it is. I'm an aggressive hitter. I don't often get into a full count, but during this season, when I was putting up some pretty good power numbers early on in the season and started to get pitched around a little bit, and being an aggressive hitter, I had to start to learn how to, see the ball, let the pitcher make his pitch to me and not be too aggressive early in the count because, they want to maybe stay a little bit away from you. And be aggressive when I can, when there's guys on base. But for the most part, I would say that the average pitch at the beginning of the year was probably 1 or 2 pitches, but now it's
Wow.
more like 3 or 4.
Okay. Scott, one of the hosts of the main event that I mentioned earlier, is a huge Dale Earnhardt fan, and Kannapolis was the hometown of Dale Earnhardt. Senior was a part of the ownership group that bought your team, named your team and such. Is there any influence around the team or the city from the late superstar?
Well, he's everywhere. I mean, Dale Earnhardt stuff's just, you can't get away from it, so there's no doubt about that. And a lot of people, even coming here, even the teammates, knowing that they're Intimidators, Kannapolis Intimidators, didn't even know why they were named the Intimidators.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's everywhere. There's definitely an influence of the NASCAR fans here.
Yeah, okay. And learning to hit the other way seems to be a big step in many players' development, like learning to play piano with both hands simultaneously. It makes more things possible. Have you made the transition, would you say, to using all fields?
Yes. I mean, especially when you got, once I got drafted and coming out of college, I was definitely more of a right center hitter, you could say, and I was mostly away. And then when I got here, they kind of took my swing and molded it to be more of a pull hitter, as well as being able to keep hitting the ball away, because playing pro ball, that's one of the major things they teach is being able to drive the ball to both sides of the field. And this year I kind of got away from my strength, and I've been pulling the ball a lot. And just the past month or so, I've been really, keying in on working the ball to the right side of the field again. And it's been a struggle, but it's definitely a work in progress. And I think that's the case for a lot of guys on our team.
Did you have any idols growing up?
Oh yeah, growing up, being a baseball card collector, I loved, Frank Thomas and Ken Griffey Jr., the guys you saw in, the home run derbies, and Mark McGwire. So,
is there any major league player that you think your game resembles the most?
Good question. Being such a, being a DH, first base, catcher, outfielder, it's hard to find too many guys. But, just in the past few years, when you see someone like Paul LaDuca, who spent a lot of time in the minors and finally making it, and as a catcher, I could see my route kind of going that way. I'm not saying it's going to take me 8 years to get to the major league level, but I wasn't a high draft guy. Didn't get drafted out of high school. I was a senior out of college when I got drafted. But hopefully, just by working my way up, whether it takes me 3 or 4 years or it takes me 8 years, eventually I'll get there.
What stars of other sports do you, as an athlete yourself, admire most?
Growing up, I worked out a lot. I looked up to a lot of what Jerry Rice did as an athlete playing football. Hearing from a lot of strength coaches and conditioning people, his work ethic, and you hear about his work ethic in almost every sport. And to emulate someone like that and to follow in someone's footsteps like that, I thought was something very inspiring for someone like me, because I worked hard on the field, but as well as off the field. I like to be the guy who kind of worked real hard off the field and not be seen. And that was one of the guys I always kept in the back of my mind.
All right. Well, good luck in the future.
All right, appreciate it.
Thanks so much. That was Joshua Hansen of the Kannapolis Intimidators. Let's take a look at your Central Division leading St. Louis Cardinals. By now, you know Scott Rowland was activated from the 15-day disabled list last Saturday. The Cardinals optioned outfielder Skip Shoemaker to AAA Memphis the next day. While he was up with the parent club, Shoemaker played in 3 games, 0 for 5. For Memphis, the AAA affiliate, Adam Wainwright has a mediocre 5-5 mark, but fans have to enjoy his throwback-style nearly 7 innings pitched per start. It's old news by now, but perhaps it slipped under the radar. Memphis pitcher Anthony Reyes has been named the St. Louis organization's Pitcher of the Month for May. During the month, Reyes tossed 2 complete games and went 3-1 in his 6 starts with a .06 ERA. He fanned 32 batters and walked only 9 in 39 innings pitched. His best performance of the month was a 1-hit shutout at Portland on May 19th. The same date Shoemaker descended from the parent club, Pete Facalillo was optioned to AA Springfield. Randy Leake of the Springfield Cardinals leads his team with 7 wins and has the lone shutout for the squad this year. Chris Lambert of the AA unit will represent the St. Louis Cardinals in the All-Star Futures game. The 22-year-old pitcher was selected to the Florida State League All-Star team as well, but was disallowed to compete as he was promoted beforehand. High-A Palm Beach, not once in 32 innings has Eric Haberer let a baseball get out of his yard. 5 starts, 1.41 ERA. Meanwhile, in Low A for the swing of the Quad Cities team, Former third-round pick Dennis Dove is starting to show some promise. The organization seems to be taking the tactic of just let him throw. He has a shutout and has started 14 contests thus far. The Cardinals have wasted no time signing their recent draftees. At last count, 47% of them are on the books. Most of these players start their careers with the New Jersey Cardinals or the Johnson City outfit. That's your look at the Redbirds. Come back next week to hear what your team's growing down on the farm.
Some drivers think comfort is found in leather. American motorists, Comfort is known they have a State Farm agent who's always there, providing personal service at a competitive rate. So talk to State Farm agent Darren Powell in Mount Pulaski. He'll help you make sure you get the coverage you need and the discounts you deserve. After all, any insurance company can promise you a good price, but nobody takes care of you like a State Farm agent. Call Darren at 877-792-3371 and he'll prove it.
The cost of going to see a Cubs game, about $250 for a pair of dugout box seats. The cost of a handsome blue Cubs hat at the game, about $25. The cost of nachos and a slice of pizza at the game, about $10. The cost of hearing the same game from your home or car on ESPN Radio 95.9 FM for free, and forgetting about that clown in the stands who ruined your 2003 Cubs season, priceless. Sports fans, get in the game only on ESPN Radio 95.9 FM, Central Illinois' home for Chicago Cubs baseball all season long.
The 1999 party continues with Dish Network and P&N Communications in Lincoln and Decatur. When you subscribe to Dish Network service, you can now receive the AT60 programming package for just $19.99 for the first 3 months. But it gets even better. You will also receive HBO and Showtime, 18 movie channels free for 3 months with this offer. It's madness. Dish madness. And there's no equipment to buy. Plus free standard professional installation. Pay a $49.99 activation fee and receive a $49.99 credit on your first programming bill. You just can't beat this offer. $19.99 for the Dish AT60 package and HBO and Showtime for 3 months. And remember, you can upgrade to a DVR system for free. So join in the madness with Dish Network and P&N Communications at 616 North Chicago Street in Lincoln and in Decatur at 2235 Westbound Road. Offer ends July 31st, 2005. All prices, packages, and programming subject.
We're talking baseball. Carew and Gaylord Perry, Seaver, Garvey, Schmidt, and Vida Blue. If Cooperstown is calling, it's no fluke. They'll be with Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Say hey, say hey, say
Now, ESPN 95.9 and the main event are proud to bring you our weekly minor league baseball report, Down on the Farm, with our minor league baseball expert, Andrew Force. Down on the Farm is sponsored exclusively by State Farm agent Darren Powell in Mount Pulaski. Call Darren today at 877-792-3371 for all your insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Now, let's go down on the farm.
Welcome back to Down on the Farm. This week's guest, Ryan Theriot, an infielder for the West Tennessee Diamondbacks, affiliate for the Chicago Cubs. First, let's take a look at the St. Louis Cardinals farm system and any transactions therein. Towards the tail end of last week, St. Louis shifted around its DL. Outfielder Roger Cedeno was activated from the 15-day DL and then designated for assignment. Bullpen lefty Randy Flores has been placed on the 15-day disabled list. Filling his spot on the St. Louis squad is southpaw Carmen Cali from AAA Memphis. In Memphis, typically acknowledgments go out to the best player of the week, but one game earned John Rodriguez mention this week. The team scored 7 runs to win 7-5. With a grand slam and a measly 2-run blast, Rodriguez drove in 6. The only run he did not bring home was his own. He scored in the 4th inning. 7 runs, all somehow thanks to Rodriguez. Well played, young man. AA Springfield, Tyler Mingus is just 4 RBI away from owning a team-wide triple crown. His 23 doubles aren't too shabby either. Last Saturday, the St. Louis Cardinals called outfielder Hector Luna back up from AAA Memphis. Luna played 83 games for St. Louis a year ago. He's number 7 in the scorebook, number 1 in your heart. Hiya, Palm Beach. Illinois native Andy Schutzenhofer lost his spot at AA. Returning to the familiar Palm Beach, his 2004 home, Schutzenhofer has 6 hits in his first 11 at-bats. Low A Quad Cities, Rick Ankiel update. After belting a grand slam with 6 RBI in the final game of the first half of the season, the lefty out of Fort Pierce, Florida, picked up right where he left off after the break. Leading the swing to a 4-game sweep at Wisconsin, Ankiel hit an even .500, 7 of 14, with 2 home runs and 5 RBI. He also crossed the plate 8 times, slugged .071, and had a .650 on-base percentage in the series, all of which were best in the Midwest League this past week. Since joining the swing on May 23rd, the Cardinals' 1997 second-round pick has hit .298 while launching 9 home runs and driving in 25 through 26 games. Is the player allowed to be runner-up for Rookie of the Year 2 different years for different positions in the major leagues? It's now time for this week's guest, Ryan Theriot of the West Tennessee Diamondbacks. So when you played with the Lansing Lugnuts and you visited South Bend, I broadcast some of the games you played. That was about 3 years ago now.
Okay.
The thing that interested me most about your game was how much speed influenced the games that you played, and how do you think you use that asset effectively?
Well, first off, like you said, you have to use it. And that would be keeping the ball out of the air, not hitting easy pop-ups where you're an easy out offensively, making sure you put the ball on the ground, put it in play consistently, and use that asset. Defensively, it can be a killer for other teams, because good positioning plus speed and quickness can take away a lot of hits. So, I try to focus on those things offensively and defensively.
The never-shy Ricky Henderson was asked many questions over time about his power as a leadoff man, and he mentioned that money isn't in the stolen base. You get paid for the home runs, so that's why he kind of bulked up a little bit. That bothered me a little bit because I like the steals, bunts, extra base hits, and such. I think it makes baseball fun.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that team speed is on the verge of extinction in baseball?
It wins games, and you can't teach speed. Speed's something that you either got it or you don't.
Yeah.
I would like to say no. I hope it's not. I know that the team that we're on right now in West Tennessee is extremely fast. One of the best teams I've played on when I was at LSU. Our team was extremely fast also. We won a College World Series. I don't think that's coincidence. Maybe the stolen base is kind of fading a little bit, but going from first to third on a base hit will never be looked down upon. Scoring from first on a double wins games, and getting runners in scoring position wins games, and stolen bases do that. I think it's team speed may be overlooked a bit now because of the home runs and things that people are putting up, but I think bottom line is team speed's always going to win games. Speed always kills, and that's a phrase I've heard my whole life. Speed killing, it really does. It breaks the backs of opposing teams if you have a fast club.
What do you watch for when you were going to steal a base, pitchers' movements and such?
I kind of focus on the pitcher's torso, in the middle of his body, on most guys, or right-handers. Sometimes I'll look down at the ankle, the foot. They say to watch when they break their knees.Maybe they have to go home if they break their back knee. I just kind of look for something out of the ordinary, and I pay a lot of attention to. Pay a lot of attention to what he does when other people are on base, the pitcher. With righties, left-handed pitchers normally tip things off, whether it be with their head or, with their front leg that they pick up. If you do your homework and pay attention when other people are on base, it's pretty easy normally to get a good read on certain pitchers.
How did guys used to steal home plate? That blows my mind. Have you ever tried that?
Yeah, not since I've been in pro ball, I haven't. Normally when a pitcher's out of the windup, it's pretty easy to do if he doesn't throw a pitch that would allow the catcher to tag you fairly easily.
Yeah.
If a pitcher is out of the windup, you can get a good walking lead at third base, and a lot of times you can take that bag. There's been a couple times where I've been able to do it this year, and just the situation in the game didn't really allow us to do it, but. It's definitely an exciting play, something I love to do, but, at the same note, it's pretty dangerous if something goes wrong.
Yeah, no kidding. Back to Ryan Theriot in a matter of moments, but first, let's take a look at the Chicago Cubs, any transactions, and their minor league stars this week. Bypassing the typical rehab start, Mark Pryor took little time reminding fans of his value. Pryor lifted the Cubs further from the 500 mark with an economical 71-pitch, 6-inning outing on Sunday. Oh, and it was the Windy City Classic against the winningest pitcher in baseball, John Garland. To make room for the USC graduate, Chicago optioned lefty Rich Hill to Iowa of the PCO. MinorLeagueBaseball.com bestowed the honor of Pacific Coast League Offensive MVP on Scott McLean. He's a non-traditional minor leaguer in the sense that McLean is not a young buck with potential dripping from his ears. A 3-time PCL All-Star with 3 different teams, the corner infielder turned 33 last month. His 15 ribbies certainly helped spurn a 6-game winning streak for the Iowa Cubs. The Chicago Cubs optioned right-handed pitcher Todd Wellemeyer to Iowa. Recalled right-handed pitcher Roberto Novoa from Iowa as well. AA West Tennessee leaders. The Diamond Jacks have stolen 104 bases, second best in the Southern League. 6 players have swiped more than 10 bases. Today's guest, Ryan Theriot, leads the way with 17. Tuesday, the Chicago Cubs recalled infielder Ronnie Cedeno from Iowa, AAA affiliate, and outrighted infielder Enrique Wilson to Iowa. They just couldn't keep him down any longer as Cedeno was destroying the PCL to the clip of 371. IA Daytona pitcher Randy Wells moved down from AA to Single A last Friday. The same day, Billy Petrick hit the DL. As far as batting hero this week, Chris Walker has climbed from 284 to 301 with a 10 for 17 tear. Low A Peoria, Ryan Harvey is 6th in the Midwest League RBI race. Despite playing in just 80% of the team's games, his 44 runs batted in leads the Chiefs. The question has been answered: when Carey gets back, whom do you demote? Tuesday, Chicago decided to designate former closer Joe Borowski for assignment to make room for Kerry Wood. Now back to Ryan Theriot of the West Tennessee Diamond Jacks. Do you think everyone should learn to bunt, or are there certain players out there that are, quote, too powerful for that?
Bunting's important. Bunting's extremely important for a lot of players, some more than others. Your power guys obviously aren't going to be asked to bunt as much as others will, but I would say that, it would never be a bad tool to learn. Not as easy as it looks a lot of times because guys' emotions get going and they're expected to do something that's fairly easy, and then you lose concentration. With the power guys, though, they should be able to a certain extent, but, as far as bunting for base hits, it's really, honestly, I don't think it will ever be asked, for a big home run hitter to do.
Right. What is the best logo you've seen in minor league baseball?
Oh, Lansing Lugnuts, no doubt.
Is that right?
Lugnuts are great, man, yeah. And then, ours at West Tennessee over here is pretty good. Let's see. They had a couple other ones. I was just looking at the other day, matter of fact. They've had some good ones. I've come across some real good ones. Lansing's definitely my favorite. They say it's always at the tops as far as sales goes for the minor league merchandise. What a cool mascot.
Is there a difference between night and day games to you?
Yeah. Day games, it's hot.
Yeah.
The night games, normally the first few innings, it's a little bit harder to see the ball than it is once it gets dark. Day games, it stays the same pretty much the whole time. But as far as a hitter goes, you have to battle that sun in day games on defense. And hitting the twilight's always kind of tough to see the ball from the pitcher on a night game.
Being a leadoff man many times in your career, I'm sure you understand the do anything to get on base mentality.
Right.
That said, do you think elbow guards are fair for batters?
Yeah, certain guys have injuries that kind of make them wear those things, and it's a preventative measure, so they won't get hit. I think pitchers should wear them if their front elbow is their throwing arm. I think that's an important spot, for them to have them. I don't know. A lot of times those elbow guards, some guys maybe use them to get a little advantage, but for the most part, I think they're needed in baseball, for a lot of people.
Is there a big gripe you have about minor league baseball in general?
About minor league baseball?
Yeah.
No, it's what it is. It's a feeder for the big leagues, and it allows for a lot of people to work, and allows for a lot of people to continue their dreams, and for me that's always good. If anybody can live out a dream, and whether it be minor leagues or major leagues, I think that's a positive. And you meet a bunch of different people, make a lot of friends that you wouldn't normally know, and it's a great thing.
Who is the best all-around athlete in your stacked West Tennessee lineup?
Best all-around athlete in West Tennessee's lineup? Well, there's a couple. I know Felix Piet could probably play a lot of other sports. We probably have 4 or 5 guys that would be solid in other sports, probably college-level players. I know Buck Coates could play other sports. He'd be a great wide receiver. I know Brandon Sting's great on the basketball court. Obviously, I'm going to have to throw myself in there just because I'm a little biased.
Yeah.
No, but we have a very athletic team, guys that can play a lot of different positions. If you notice in our lineup, we've had guys all over the place, and they've all been successful. So we got some good athletes. I'd have to put Felix up there at the top. Buck's pretty athletic in his own right too.
What ages are baseball players in their prime, would you say?
I would have to say 21 to 25, 26. Mentally, they normally can develop once they get to those age. Physically, a lot of guys are ready, but this game's 90% mental. So I think once they get enough at bats under their belt and played in enough games, that's a good age, depending on where they've been. That I would say they'd be developed.
Is there any difference between travel accommodations between single A and double A?
It's pretty similar. As far as travel goes with the bus and the hotels are pretty similar also. They're all pretty much the same, and it's it's good for what we do, and at every level that I've been, it's all been. I don't have any complaints, and the Cubs have done a real good job taking care of us.
What do you think about in the on-deck circle?
On-deck circle, I try to time the pitcher. I try to see what pitches he's throwing. Is he throwing them for strikes? Another thing I try to key on is, how long it takes him to get to the plate, if he has a quick delivery or a slow delivery. And just see how he pitches the guy in front of me, and maybe get a little idea of what he's going to do to me whenever I get up.
All right, thanks a lot, and hope you guys have a good rest of the season.
Okay, buddy, thank you.
Ryan Terrio of the West Tennessee Diamondbacks. That's once again the AA affiliate of the Chicago Cubs. From the north side to the south side, let's take a look at the Chicago White Sox leaders in their minor league system this week. AAA Charlotte, former Knight Kurt Schilling, returned yesterday for a rehab start with the Pawtucket Red Sox. Perusers of the International League Leaders Board know the name well. Brian Anderson is 7th in runs, 10th in doubles, 12th in total bases, and 12th in hits. AA Birmingham. Someone buy Chris Young dinner. The dude started the second half with 5 home runs in 6 games, swatting 11 hits and 25 at-bats. Though the honor was decided upon before his recent surge, Young heard news of his Futures Game invitation this week as well. The Winston-Salem Warthogs, now in first place, have a likely Triple Crown winner on their team. Leo Daigle has 24 long balls, 5 up on his follower. His 85 RBI leads teammate and former Down on Farm guest Tom Calera by 22. Up 16 points in the batting average column, Daigle could very well become the second player in the Carolina League's 60-year history to acquire the Triple Crown. Low A, Kannapolis, left fielder David Cook currently has a .422 on-base percentage with 51 walks, propping up that number. Come back next week to hear what your team's growing down on the farm.
Hey, come into County Market and check out our savings explosion. They're mind-blowing. Like a...
Allen, it's a bright sunny afternoon, and what a beautiful day for a ball game.
I'm talking baseball, like Reggie Quisenberry talking baseball. Carew and Gaylord Perry, Seaver, Garvey, Schmidt, and Vida Blue. If Cooperstown is calling, it's no fluke. They'll be with Willie, Mickey, and the Duke.
Now, ESPN 95.9 and the main event are proud to bring you our weekly minor league baseball report, Down on the Farm, with our minor league baseball expert, Andrew Force. Down on the Farm is sponsored exclusively by State Farm agent Darren Powell and Mount Plasky. Call Darren today at 877-792-3371 for all your insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Now, let's go down on the farm.
Welcome back to Down on the Farm. This week's guest is Mark Michael, a 22-year-old pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. He's currently pitching in Palm Beach, the High A affiliate. A little bit of a change-up this week, as usually. I talked to you a little bit about the transactions within. We'll still do that, but there will not be any star players from each organization. This week, I'll talk to you about the last 6 years, 2000 and beyond, the first draft pick taken by your team, Chicago Cubs, St. Louis Cardinals, and Chicago White Sox, and see where they are now and how they're progressing in their careers. First up, the Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs were quite active on July 4th this year. Last week, Enrique Wilson fell down to AAA. This week, the Iowa Cubs on July 4th placed him on the inactive list. Michael Lewis takes his spot as a middle infielder following his call-up from AA West 10. Pitcher Brad Stiles was released by the organization on July 4th, that being from AAA Iowa. The Boise Hawks rookie-level team assigned infielder Kyle Reynolds to their squad. Also on July 4th, infielder Aaron Sisk was promoted to AA West 10 of the Southern League, as Victor Ramos was added from Boise to Peoria Chiefs. Luis Montañez, the third overall pick in 2000, has experienced varied success throughout his lengthy career, as evidenced by his .267 career batting average. Right now, he is playing for Peoria, the low-A squad, and having a fine year. 307, 11 bombs, 47 ribbies. Taken second overall in 2001, Mark Pryor should have been the first pick, but the Minnesota Twins had no intentions of paying him a huge bonus. Pryor has since won 35 regular season games and 2 postseason games for the Chicago Cubs. A former guest of this very show, Bobby Brownlee, is redefining his style. Drafted as a fireballer, Brownlee is now working on changing speeds and location. He is 3-4 with a 5.18 earned run average for AAA Iowa. The Cubs' first-round pick in 2003 was Ryan Harvey. Playing with the Peoria Chiefs, outfielder Ryan Harvey is doing just fine. Identical power numbers to Montañez on the same team, Harvey has a tremendous frame at 6'5", 225. Taken in 2004's second round, Grant Johnson plays for Peoria as well. It took a while before this transpired, however. He held out and did not sign until August of last year. Then he suffered a hamstring injury in spring training this year. At 6'6", he is the 4th tallest hurler on the gigantic staff. In his 5 starts, Johnson is 1-2 with a 5.25 ERA. That'll do it for the Chicago Cubs. Let's now take a listen to Mark Michael, this week's guest on Down on the Farm. Okay, I'm talking with Mark Michael of the Palm Beach Cardinals. Mark, what pitches do you throw?
Feature a fastball, curveball, and a changeup.
What would you say are the strengths of your game and aspects you need to work on?
Well, right now, I say my strength is I've always had a sinking, tailing fastball, and that seems to work pretty well. The only problem is with the sinking fastball. You got to keep it onto the plate, and keep it low in the zone so they can't get under it and either cause the ball to go out of the yard or into the gap. I think if you're able to pitch inside and establish the inside part of the plate, and you can pitch anywhere on the plate, because the hitters don't really like the ball inside too much, and with a guy with a sinking fastball and pretty hard, it's pretty tough to hit.
The baseball draft is nowhere near as publicized as the NBA or NFL drafts. Could you describe how you found out where you were going to be playing?
When I was, it was in 03 when I was drafted. I was actually just home with my mom, and she told me that the Cardinals I've been getting phone calls. I was getting phone calls all day. We're going to take you here, take you there, blah, 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 blah. Would you sign for this? Would you sign for that? And my mom ended up finally telling me I was outside, cutting the grass. My mom told me I was drafted in the 4th round by the Cardinals. And
you were cutting the grass when you got drafted?
Yeah, I was cutting it. It was funny. My dad was working, I just needed something to, relieve my mind because it was kind of a hectic day.
Right.
And, so I was outside cutting the grass, and next thing you know, my mom was yelling. They drafted me in the 4th round, and the scout Tommy Shields, he called me and told me they drafted me, and he pretty much told me I was heading to New Jersey. So.
Now, Tommy Shields was your manager in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, he was actually. Now, I don't think he's the manager now. I think Mark DeJohn, I think, is the manager there. So I think they're just making Tommy just concentrate on scouting. So, which is pretty good.
Did you feel energized, ready to get to work, or relieved to be getting the chance for something you worked so hard for?
Yeah, that's what everyone works for, and just to get the opportunity to play at a higher level and get paid for, is just something you've always dreamed about. You obviously, I'm not the type of guy that likes 9-to-5 jobs. I never really had one, so I don't know what it would be like. So I'm always been playing baseball, so it'd be kind of weird if I wasn't playing it. So. It feels good, that you can actually pursue a career out of it.
Okay, you have the ideal pitching frame, 6'4", 215, somewhere in there, but you have had shoulder troubles in the past. What would you say has been the problem?
Just mechanics. Believe it or not, the way you pitch, has a lot of bearing on your arm. Obviously, the pitching motion is not the best thing for an arm. It's very violent, right. But I've been running into some
some mechanical problems, and I'm just trying to get those things consistent where I can feel I have a grasp on it, and it feels pain-free, and know it feels effortless when I'm throwing. So that's just, I think I have that now. It's being hurt, and you start to realize what you need to do to stay healthy. So once I get back off the DL, I'll be able to get those mechanics down and continue hopefully.
You went through an off season of rehab. Would you say that the problem you have now is related to that, or is it something new?
It's something new. It had nothing to do with what I had in the off season. The pain I had last year was sharp pain in the back of my shoulder in the labrum area. And it was real deep. This one just right in the front, the bicep tendon and the rotator cuff. So, I rehabbed it all off season, and, I came back strong, felt great in spring training. Started off, feeling good, and I just ran into I don't want to blame it on something, but I was pitching in Port Charlotte, and the mound was kind of iffy, it wasn't the best of mound. I was sort of pitching uphill. What that means is when I was throwing, my front foot was landing, and my back foot was beneath the level of my front foot, and I was kind of fighting myself to get the ball on top, and I came out of my mechanics, and that I think tweaked something up in the shoulder. So,
right back to this week's guest, Mark Michael, in a moment. But first, the transactions within the Cardinals system and the first-round draft picks from the last 6 years. Anthony Reyes, prized prospect, was activated from the DL on Sunday. He originally went to the shelf because of shoulder tendonitis in his throwing arm. Sean Boyd, drafted in 2000. Was batting .272 when AA Springfield. At times, Boyd has shown the ability to steal bases. For example, Sean swindled 32 in 2002. Most believe Boyd has topped out, though, with little progress anticipated beyond this, his third season in AA. In 2001, the Cardinals selected Justin Pope with their first-round pick. Late in 2003, Pope and teammate Ben Julianell were packaged for Sterling Hitchcock. Pope is now a member of the New York Yankees AA affiliate, Trenton Thunder. 25 years old, the switch-hitting pitcher is a converted closer with 17 saves and a sub-3 ERA. Calvin Hayes was the highest pick taken by St. Louis in 2002. He was a third-round selection, however. Until recently, his movement had all been positive. Currently in low A, Hayes is a speedy middle infielder. 2003, the Cardinals picked a shiny apple, Derek Barton, a high school phenom who was traded to Oakland along with Dan Herron and Kiko Calero for Mark Mulder. A member of the prestigious Futures All-Star game, Barton just moved up to AA with the Athletics. In his first 2 games, he slugged a home run and drove in 3. Now 22 years old, Chris Lambert was picked by the Cardinals organization in 2004. He is a member of the AA Springfield rotation, featuring a 2.58 earned run average. In 9 starts, he has only 2 decisions, a 1-1 record. Just drafted last month, outfielder Colby Rasmus is playing with rookie-level Johnson City. That's a look at your first-round draft picks for the St. Louis Cardinals. Now back to right-handed hurler Mark Michael of the Palm Beach Cardinals. How has the Cardinals minor league system helped you develop as a player?
To give you the opportunity, just to, they're always on you, or always trying to help you get better, and they're willing to work with you. And we get to the ballpark I've been here for a half hour now, and we don't have to be here till 3:30. And you come early, they'll help you. And just if you need help, they'll help you.
Describe the ideal fan to you.
Ideal fan?
Yeah.
Well, the ideal fan, comes to the ballpark, and eats about 2 or 3 hot dogs, and is into every pitch, and having fun. It's all the same thing, getting their autographs, or I think it's great. When I come to the ballpark and I see there's fan mail in my locker, I feel good that someone's actually a fan of mine. It's pretty amazing feeling, that someone cares enough to take a card and throw it in an envelope and pay 37 cents or whatever it costs to send it to a ballpark, hoping that the athlete will sign it and send it back. So that means a lot. It goes a long way as a player, and it feels good. Then you come there, they can wave to you, and you have no problem waving back to you.
Speaking of fans, would you say there's something that fans don't know about the everyday life of a baseball player that they should know?
Yes, a lot of fans, don't know what goes on behind the scenes. They just see, the glamorous field, and the nice uniforms, and a lot of fans probably think players are stuck up because they don't talk to them. There's a lot of rules that the players have to abide by. Fans don't know that, and they get real short. The day in, day out grind that they have to go through, and that we have to go through as a team, it's pretty tough. You play 140 games every day. And down here in Florida, it's 95 it's 95 degrees right now with 100% humidity.
Jeez.
You have to be able to lock it in for 140 games and come to the ballpark willing to work every day, and that's it gets real repetitive. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people don't like going to work every day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing as that, and just I don't know, it's a tough grind, and it's a tough profession because it could be 2 years to make it to the big leagues and make the big bucks, or it could be 10 years. And the minor league salary is, I mean, I'm not complaining about the money. I mean, it's not the greatest. You get by. It's just a grind. It's a lot of, you have to have a lot in you to sacrifice so much. I sacrificed my summer. I sacrificed my family. I haven't seen I see my family about 3 weeks ago. I went home for the All-Star break, but I probably won't see them anymore till September when I go home. That means a lot. That means a lot to me. There's a lot of sacrifices. A lot of people are down vacationing with their families, and I don't get that. You know what I mean? So all my friends are home from college in the summer, and I'm on the road. You know what I mean? So I don't really get a chance to see my friends. It's a lot of sacrifices that people just should know. And but it's fun though. It's a very challenging, and if you like to challenge yourself, it's a very good profession to be in.
Not until Double-A do pitchers hit for themselves. So if I remember right, you swung a pretty mighty bat in high school and early college. Any chance you might get some pinch hitting appearances for Palm Beach this year?
Probably not, because I've been on the DL, and I know they've always. We were running low at one point, and they told me, I'd be first off the list if I was healthy. So but we got guys now filling in, so I don't think there'll ever be a case where I'll pinch hit in Palm Beach. So it'd be nice if I could, just to maybe we'll see if I could show up some of the hitters. But I haven't realized how tough it is. I wouldn't want to face me. I wouldn't want to face half our pitchers on our staff, to be honest with you. Hitting is probably it's the toughest thing to do in a sport.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I want to hit, but then there's something inside me say, I can't hit that stuff. I haven't hit in 2 or 3 years. That's why I'm pitching again.
Yeah. What are some highlights of your career to date?
The highlights of my career to date. My first win, which was back in 2003. I was throwing against Lowell. I struck out 10. That was a pretty good feeling, and that was, obviously your first professional start or first professional appearance. My parents were there, and that made it real. That made it even more special. My parents drove 7 hours to watch me throw 1 inning. I was out of the bullpen because we got a lot of rain delays my first year. So just for them to see that made it feel special to them, and see their son succeed, which is always a good thing, good feeling for me. Last year, being able to pitch, and I threw a complete game, which is pretty cool, and so it's just being out here is a highlight of my career.
All right, thanks a lot, and I look forward to getting back out there on the field and showing you what you can do the remainder of the season and throughout your career.
All right, appreciate it very much.
Many thanks to Mark Michael, the right-handed pitcher for the Palm Beach Cardinals. It's now time to take a look at the Chicago White Sox transactions and their first-round draft picks from the last 6 years. On the 5th of July, the White Sox recalled Bobby Jenks, the right-handed pitcher from Double-A Charlotte. In the same move, they optioned right-handed pitcher Brandon McCarthy to Triple-A Charlotte, as he is not expected to have any more starts with the parent club before the All-Star game. Joe Borcher, the White Sox first-round pick in 2000, is now in AAA as a result of a logjam in the Sox outfield. In his 286 career Major League at-bats, Borchard is hitting a paltry 182. He has an unacceptably high strikeout total, along with 15 homers for the Charlotte Knights this season. In 2001, the Chicago team chose Chris Honnell in the first round, currently starting for the Birmingham Barons. The big righty is 1-5 with a bulbous 6+ ERA. The 2002 draft pick was Roger Ring. His full name is Royce Roger Ring, so now he goes by Royce. He went to the New York Mets back in 2003 along with 2 other minor leaguers for Roberto Alomar. Royce made his Major League debut this year as he has now pitched in 14 games. Despite a recent dip, 2003 first-round selection Brian Anderson has been the best hitter with Charlotte all year long. Gracious enough to join down on the farm for the debut, the outfielder Anderson leads the team in doubles, RBI, total bases, and walks. Josh Fields out of Stillwater, Oklahoma was the Sox 2004 pick. You heard him on Down on the Farm a couple of weeks ago. Fields is up to Double-A, playing alongside Honnell for the Barons. The organization has high hopes for 2005 first-rounder Lance Broadway, as they have started him off with the high-A Winston-Salem Warthogs. Through 3 starts, he is 1-0 with a 2.45 mark. Come back next week to hear what your team's growing down on the farm.
Where can you go in our community to post local events on a free, interactive community calendar? Buy and sell things online within the community and keep local businesses from being lost in the sea of .coms. Buy DecaturFirst.com, the only place to go to support and communicate within our